The noise generator within Ultrabeat is obviously there to add some grit to electronic sounds that you build, but in this video we're going to look at how we can use noise by itself to do some really interesting things using the sequencer. So I'm going to start by coming down to the main sequencer window within here and clearing the entire pattern so that the sequenced elements of this default kit disappear. Then I'm going to select this snare sound and I'm going to switch off oscillators 1 and 2, just leaving me with noise. I'm going to turn the volume up a little bit so we can hear it clearly, and that's what we're left with. So what I want to do first of all is to change the filter type down to a low pass filter to produce a fuller sound. I'm going to add some grit, and now we've got a sort of basic sound. Now the next thing to do is to enable the sequencer, and what I'm then going to do is, using this snare sound, which of course is now just the noise, I'm going to go through and create some little notes in here. So this is just going to create a sequence for me with obviously the heights of these individual notes representing their velocity and therefore their volume in this particular context. So this is going to be a 2-bar pattern of 16th notes. There we go. So that's what my pattern sounds like at the moment. So obviously I've got this kind of noise, but it's only varying in volume at the moment. But if I come into the step sequencer mode, what I can do is to add some snapshot automation on a note-by-note basis for different parameters. So first of all, I'm going to start with this grit dial. And you can see that straight away on this last note of the sequence, I've now added more grit to that final note than the default value. And what I can then do is to go through each individual note and add more or less grit on a per note basis. So obviously any of these blocks higher than the central line means more grit than the original default sound, and any blocks below means less. So I can just go through one note at a time and just add these, and obviously I'm just flying these in at random really. Okay, so we've immediately got a much more interesting sequence than we had before. And to add another parameter, all I have to do is to simply just move that dial. So now I'm changing the volume on a per note basis. Again, one note at a time, with blocks above louder and blocks below quieter. So again, just bung in some values here. That's really coming alive now. Another parameter next. Here's the cutoff amount. So again, from my default value, I can either increase or decrease cutoff frequency for each individual note. And that's really starting to sound much more interesting now than it was before. So what I could then do would be to enhance this further with some plugins. I'm going to just grab a delay plugin here, set up a 3/16 delay on the right and a quarter note on the left, increase the feedback and the mix, and filter it a little. And then all hell breaks loose. That's kind of fun, isn't it? Okay, so there's a little noise sequence built within the Ultrabeat sequencer.